My name is Orion Mott. I'm a concussion healer at Toronto. I'm here together with Marina, and she's come to me with some problems that she's feeling in her head. And we're going to discuss a little bit about what she's feeling, and then I'm going to do a treatment, and you're going to watch some of the treatment. So tell us a little bit what you're feeling, what's coming on with you.
Sure. So I'm here today because for the longest time, ever since I was young, I've always had this ringing in the left side of my ear, and it comes and it goes. Usually I can hear it when I'm about to fall asleep and like I'm laying on my left side, and it just feels like, it almost sounds like there's a bug in my ear.
The tinnitus.
And it won't come out. Yeah, tinnitus. And I also noticed over the last few years I've developed this like really intense brain fog.
Okay.
And I really want to clear that
Okay.
because again, it comes and it goes, but it's something that I don't think should be permanent in my life. So I'd love to clear that. And with that, sometimes with the brain fogginess, I notice I get headaches at like the crown of my head. So that's just something else I feel is like a side effect.
So you're feeling there's a rebalancing of your brain you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd love to just feel more balanced with like the ringing, as well as just, you know, less headaches and less brain fogginess that comes and goes. Like I just like to feel clear majority of my time.
So let me ask you about when you're in school, when you're a kid, the subjects you had trouble with, because that tells me a lot about how your brain works and where you polarize towards one side versus the other side. So tell me, what subjects were you really good at and what subjects were you not so good at?
So I've never been good at math, science, all the more practical kind of subjects that were in school. It was always...
That's this part, by the way.
Yeah, it was always art, dance,
That's
drama. I studied acting in school, so that was always something I was more drawn to. And even now it's the same thing. I'm more alive when I'm creative, and I'm more stressed when I have to think about like the math or like analytical things. Like it just was never my forte.
So this is common with people, that they polarize toward the right brain versus the left, or the left brain versus the right. But generally people who seek out healers like me are very right brain people, and the reason why is because they feel a lot. And they understand if they feel, they change their feeling, that their whole perception changes and they're able to heal themselves. Left brain analytical will watch this video and say, I don't believe a word he's saying. And that's okay. I work with them too. So she's talking about a right brain polarity, and for that we're going to do a little bit of body talk therapy and repolarize the right and left. We're also going to do some work on the ear itself with my neuroplasticity. I've created this technique called energy neuroplasticity, which is my particular energy healing practice, and I work with pulling the energy out through the brain, and I can't describe it. You have to see it. It's actually really interesting. You actually will hear and feel your ear as I'm pulling it back.
So cool.
So we'll check with you in a second. Okay, we're back. So what I coordinated was her pineal gland to activate, her kundalini energy to come up her spine, and her heart to open up. And I've coordinated all those together. So now I'm going to work specifically on the brain. So I want you to feel the heat of my hands, okay? And we're going to go straight into the ear because that seems to be the most interesting place right now. So I want you to feel the heat of my hands right now. Good. Already I can feel in her ear, her left ear, a little bit of coldness. The energy is not as flowing on the left side as the right. Good. Now, I'm going to pull my hands away, and I want you to reach out with your awareness and feel the heat of my hands. And you're going to feel a popping, clicking sensation in your ears, especially your left ear. So feel the heat of my hands. There we go. I'm going to go a little wider, 2 inches away. I want you to feel the heat of my hands. There we go. 4 inches. Reach out with your awareness. We're going to go about 3.5 inches. Back in. So reach out and feel the heat of my hands. Now you should feel some weird shifting around in your ear. Can you hear that? Yeah.
I do.
Right. So now we're coordinating together. We're meshing together. And for the camera, for the people over there, I hear in my ear what's going on in her ear. That's why I can say, do you hear that? Because I can hear it in mine. There's an echo that I have.
I can even feel energy being like pulled out
Yeah.
of my left ear.
That's your neuroplasticity. That's your pineal. That's your heart. That's your kundalini. All these things come together, and it coordinates. And I'm pulling all three awarenesses, and they coordinate to heal you.
Mm.
You know, if you go just from your energy alone, like Reiki, it's wonderful, but it won't do what we're doing. We have to basically. The idea here is that there's enough energy in the system. I just need to coordinate the energy as opposed to adding or subtracting. Okay. So now I'm going to pull my hands a little further out, about 5 inches. So feel the heat of my hands. Ooh, feel that tickle. That's good. Good. I'm going to go a little wider now. So now I'm going to go 12 inches. Now light up that pineal gland, light up the heart, light up that kundalini energy, and reach out with your awareness 12 inches on either side of your head. So reach out with your awareness. Wake up that pineal. Shine it brightly with the white light and feel the heat of my hands. There we go. Good. There we go. Are you feeling that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That almost feels like when you're landing an airplane.
Yeah.
That
So
popping.
that's your tinnitus on your left side. Your eardrum itself is changing shape. Now, what happens with tinnitus, and I've found this with many people, is that tinnitus has a lot to do with fear. Having fearful moments. That part of the fearful part of our brain, the emotional limbic area of our brain, is right around where the ear canal is. And you have moments of extreme fear. It will pull in. As we are fearful, our body contracts. And as we love, it expands. And it's not necessarily we're putting it into love, but we're putting it into a state of wellness where it can expand its awareness itself. And as it does that, well, that area that's tension releases. And your eardrum itself will release. The eustachian tubes will release. The brain areas coordinating will release. And you'll feel like your brain's literally going wider.
Wow. I can feel that.
Yeah.
I can really feel everything is like expanding.
Good. Now I'm going to do something a little wild. I'm going to pull away my right hand. I'm going to get you to focus only on your left side.
Okay.
Now, remember what we talked about polarity, where you're dominant on your right side versus your left side. I'm going to take you into the darkness of where you don't want to go. I'm going to take you into your left side of awareness. And as I take you to the left side, you're going to have all these great skills and abilities, and your ear's going to work better, and all that because it's on that side of you. And as you're going about your life in the next little while, I want you to be really left aware of the left side.
Okay.
And try to really polarize that way. And you're going to have your mental body being a little sharper with numbers and science. You're going to find your organizational skills being a lot better. You're also going to find a lot more judgmental towards others because the left side is very judgmental. Okay? It's very judgy. Now the trick is be your left side without all the judginess and have a little discernment that way.
Right.
Because automatically, we know that there's left side people that are very intellectual, but they believe that they're superior to everybody else. And that comes because they know their brain's working faster than everybody else. And there's a little tinge of ego that works with that.
Yeah.
So when you work on your left side, you will speed up your brain processing, but at the same time, you can still be nice about it. All right. So I'm just letting you know that happens with people that are left side dominant. Some of the great lawyers and doctors and clients of mine, that are brilliant people, have that side uber available. And they've developed personality traits that counteract that judginess because they are faster than people.
Wow.
Okay, so now I'm going to lightly tap your right side. Still be aware of your left side, your left ear.
Yep, I can feel that.
And let your awareness shift to the left side. Feel the left ear. Now you should have a lot of crackling going on that left side of the ear. Can you hear that?
Yeah, it just feels like so much pressure is being like pulled out.
You are healing yourself. I'm giving you the impetus, but you're healing yourself here. Just changing your polarity around. There we go. I'm going to put my hand on here. And I want you to reach out to the left side. 1 foot away. There we go. Now we're going to have some big movements going on in that ear. There we go. It gives me a tickle up my spine whenever I get an adjustment. So I know when to continue on moving on to the next thing or to stay put.
Mm.
There we go. It's softened up. Okay. So now we're going to do a bi-talk technique. I really like this technique. It's called switching. I want you to take your fingers, your right and left fingers, and this, 2 fingers, index finger, first finger and index finger, index finger. Yeah. Put it on your eyes, just gently, and put your elbows apart. And I just need your clavicle bone. There's an acupuncture point called KI-27. And now I want you to feel the heat of my hands on your clavicle, and I want you to breathe in and out deeply. Breathe out. Good. Breathe. Breathe through your mouth in. Breathe out. Good. Breathe. Breathe through your mouth. Breathe out. Breathe. There we go. Breathe out. You felt a little shift there. One more. Just anchoring in. Breathe out. And the last release I'm going to do is called an SB release. So I need you to open a second. This is going to go on the roof of the mouth just behind the teeth. And again, this is a polarity thing. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe. Expand your awareness. Breathe in. Breathe out. There we go. Breathe out. One more. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe. Breathe out. Good. What did that feel like there, those 2 releases?
Just felt like a lot of was being pushed out and through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just the way it just felt. This energy was just moving right out of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And that's the feeling is actually the coordinating of your right and left side. We talked about polarity.
Yeah.
And I had to put your polarity of your brain back. And those things coordinate those parts of the brain, the right and left hemisphere of the brain. Or we call it the right and left brain in body talk. All right, and that's one of the techniques I use for that polarity question.
I can definitely feel something going on with my left ear now.
Yeah, you've already gone in there to start activating its healing, and it's already healing.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it consciously. You're not doing it consciously. It's already once it goes into a dark place, it's like, oh, we can just keep on going.
Right. It's amazing.
Excellent. So that's part of the physical things that we do. I'm gonna turn the camera off now, and we're gonna do some work on the heart and do some heart clearing. Okay, so I'll put the camera back on. We just we did a heart clearing, which is a Ho'oponopono technique. It's a very personal thing, so I didn't want to put that necessarily on film. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what you experienced. When you came in, Marina, you were talking about your gut was a little off as well, and you wanted to sort of see if you could heal that. And as I intuitively pulled in, I found it had to do with a certain person, and I found where she lodged in your heart, and we did some clearing of that out, and you were feeling something. So describe what you were feeling at the end of that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, prior to the session, I had an intuitive feeling that, everything that was connected to the heart and the brain was also connected to the digestive system, but I didn't know to what extent. So it was really interesting to actually feel, while we were doing the heart work, how that was affecting the lower part of my body. And just as the session was ending, I felt this immense tingle going up through my lower body, through my toes, through my legs, and in particular on the left, which is also interesting because left side is what I essentially came here for. So it's really amazing, and I feel revitalized actually afterwards. And you were mentioning that after a session I could either feel more on like the lower end of the spectrum or the higher end, and right now I feel like up or down. Right now I just feel like empowered
Right.
and excited, and I think that's such a great feeling after what just
So
happened.
and without getting too specific, we went into memories and we changed the relationship of how she felt about those memories. And by going into the darkest points and changing the perception and the feelings there, she extracts a different relationship to that experience, and therefore different feelings about herself, just by clearing all that out. So that's what we were working on.
Yeah, it was so great, and it was a way for me to actually connect again with the inner child as well, to heal some things that were going on that get stuck in our body, and about memory and how we start perceiving things too. So yeah, I definitely feel like now I have a more awareness of these energies.
It's interesting with the inner child that anytime there's a traumatic experience that I've worked with people, as they go through that experience and change their relationship, they get to incorporate that inner child back. And all these other things that were left behind come back, and people feel more whole, more full, more balanced, and more coordinated.
Yeah.
And that's a real common thing after a heart clearing session.
Yeah, I feel all that. I feel super connected again to that younger me, and I think she's been yearning for that. So it's great.
Forgotten parts.
Yes, yeah, exactly.